What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I am Craig, and we're going to be going over the charts, starting out with the Dow Jones and the DXY, and of course, oil. There's some very important stuff to talk about oil. Then we'll go into some different time frames on Bitcoin, kind of show you the big picture all the way down into the 4 hour, what we could be expecting. Definitely stick around for the whole video. We got a lot to talk about, a lot of charts. I'm going to kind of just briefly go over. Most of you guys seen a lot of them over the past 2 years. Some of them are very old, seem to be playing out. And I often hashtag BMGIH on my Twitter, and people always ask what that is. Well, that's what I've been talking about since 2021, right here. The biggest money grab in history. Now, I know a lot of people like to talk about, the government doesn't want the markets to tank or whatever. I totally don't believe that at all. I think, people talk about the Great Reset and things like that. I believe that the Great Reset is them crashing the markets, all part of the plan. If you ever notice, when we're at support or resistance levels, we always see some big kind of thing going on or some big news. Like right now, it's the debt ceiling, things like that. We always see this stuff right around pivotal moments. And it's kind of funny, they'll move the dates. Like at first we weren't going to be able to pay our bills on June 1st. And then they moved it to June 5th. It's like a big game. If my theory, of course, I could be dead wrong, but my theory is these guys control the money, guys. Not to say it's necessarily the politicians, maybe it's the corporations behind them making them change laws, whatever it is. Somebody is in control of the money, and how they stay in control is taking all your money. And when do people really make money in the markets? When the markets go down, because they're selling, taking the cash out. Now, I know a lot of people are saying the dollar is dead and it's, the US dollar is nothing. Well, I've explained a lot of times before that the US dollar, the fear when they put it into the US dollar usually pumps very high. And then the markets crash. That is because they are selling their stocks or whatever and getting into cash, right? While they scared the public out of it. Guys, if you're watching the news, I suggest looking at the news from a contrarian perspective, right? Like I said, the same people that are controlling these markets that are making these big moves and making the moves happen are the same ones that own the news channels. YouTube, I believe, is even part of it. I could be dead wrong. Again, none of this is financial advice, but it does seem that YouTube will push out the bearish videos right before a pump, and they will push out the bullish videos very, very hard right before a dump. It's corporations, guys, and all these big money people basically telling you where to put your money so they can take it. All right, let's get into the charts. Hope you guys enjoyed my little conspiracy theory there that I do believe to be true, but who knows. If you guys do enjoy these type of videos, make sure you smash the thumbs up, leave your comments down below. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel for updates on the markets, including Bitcoin. We focus mostly on Bitcoin, but here's the Dow Jones. I am looking at this as a little fractal here. This was back in 2007 and 2008 before the big dump. So I do believe we are going to see something like that. Our major support is down here around the 22.1 to the 23,000 range. If this breaks, I believe it could get very ugly, and I'll show you why. If we draw a trend line right in here, this dip right here being this, just like we had in 2020, right? Let's zoom in and see what that looks like. Could be the same type of pattern, guys. And you see what happened once that broke, came back up. But once this really broke, the markets really were in major trouble. And we've talked about this before. Could be way down in the really low levels. We'll see what happens. If this does happen, we could take a measured move. Let's see what this would give us just for giggles. So let's say we broke down right here at the 22.5 range, right? Not to say that's going to happen, but take a measured move of the widest point of that to where it broke down. That would get you Very, very low. That would be ugly. That would be Great Depression stuff, which is not out of the question. It's definitely a possibility. It's not out of the realm, but we'll see what happens there. But I do see much more downside in a big way for the markets. Now, that doesn't mean they can't pump a little here or there. That's how markets work. But if you look, our high was back in January of 2022. So over a year ago was when we topped out here. And I do believe that was the top. DXY, where did DXY top here? September of 22, so last year. But we have made a double bottom here. And what I've talked about is getting rejected right here at this 0.382 fib, which we did. Now let's see if we retrace here, how far can we go? Let's take a look at that. These are the levels I would look for a retracement for the DXY. So as you guys know, the DXY could be, here's your retracements levels if it does continue down. Now remember, if it does, then Bitcoin will pump a little bit while the dollar retraces. Your first retracement mark is going to be 1037. Now you need to keep an eye on these areas. The second one being 1032. Third one being 1027. Now this would be the 0.618, which is the golden pocket zone around 102 to 1022. And the last one would be the 0.786. Do I think we'll go down that far? I don't, but anything's possible. So if we do get a retracement back to these levels, I do see Bitcoin getting a little pump there. And then obviously when it bounces, whichever level we get a bounce off of here, if we even get down to these levels, right? But whichever level we get a bounce off of here, once we break this 1047, excuse me a second, guys. Once we break this 1047, which is our 0.382 fib, we may come back down, test it for support. But then our next resistance is going to be right around here, right around the, depending on it when we bounce, right? But wherever we hit this trend line, 106, somewhere in that range, may get a small retracement back before continuing up. It may take a couple attempts to break this, but once it does, Bitcoin, I think, will be going down as we come up to this 108 level. This would be the next level I would be looking for resistance. If we break that and get above it, then I believe we have much higher to go for the DXY. Like I said, when they put fear into something, they're usually dumping the markets and getting into the dollar, right? So if the dollar pumps, they're in the dollar. And so the DXY compared to all other currencies is worth a lot more, right? They scared you all out of it while you're getting into markets and looking for things to get into in the markets. Well, they're getting in the dollar, dollar's rising. So when it sells, the dollar really pumps when the markets sell off, including Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not, it's still dependent on the market, guys. No matter what anybody says, I do not believe Bitcoin's just going to detach itself from the markets and go its own way. That's not how risky assets work. And Bitcoin's a risky asset, whether you want to believe that or not. It's a risky asset, right? So anyways, it was 69,000, a year and a half ago? I don't know, just saying. Anyways, so when the markets are super high, everybody's putting their money into the markets, right? Everybody is looking for a safe place, even gold and silver. Then the dollar has come down, so people are getting into the dollar, and as the dollar rises, they're selling out of the stock, and the dollar will keep rising, right? So their dollar's worth more. They can buy a lot more stocks when it hits the bottom. Now, that doesn't mean on these bigger macro dumps like I do believe is coming, it doesn't just shoot straight back up, right? It'll be decades before the markets get back to their highs, in my opinion, if I'm correct on this. So I just want to put caution out there to be very careful, guys. So this is our oil chart that we've been watching since June of 22, and I had told you to watch for a break of this trend line right here. We were looking at this as a channel. Once we broke, we came back for a retest as expected, and then we had this target. Since we broke this, that was back in August of 22, we had this target. We nailed it, 62.70, and we talked about coming in here, right? Bouncing around on this for a while, but once this trend line breaks, if it was to break today, not saying it's going to, just kind of show you how this works, would be around 66.20. If that was to break today, obviously we may test this for support one time if that breaks. But just like here, I believe we break down, come back up, maybe get a retest. But our measured move target from this breakdown of this rising channel is down to about 27 bucks. Not saying that has to happen, but guys, if that does, if this breaks, I think that it's going to signal that the markets are going down in a big way. So, but it doesn't have to break right now, right? We could bounce around in here for a while, test this trend line for a couple times before finally breaking. But once it does, I think that's going to signal the markets are tanking, right? So look at these white trend lines. Every time they broke, I have them also drawn in the RSI down below. This is the weekly chart of Bitcoin, right? This just shows you how fast Bitcoin can drop when it drops past its support levels. So right now we have this support level right here, which was off these two. Old resistance becomes new support. But I believe if this support breaks 24.3, then it's probably going to look something like this coming down, right? And if you zoom out and look at the big picture, that doesn't look so out of whack, right? I know a lot of people are just talking about continuing up from here, going to new all-time highs because of the halving, blah, blah, blah. That could be true if the markets, the traditional markets, somehow miraculously just go on a massive bull run. Because if we go back to the Dow Jones, this is when Bitcoin was created, right? Right here. This market was just in a massive bull run that whole time. Bitcoin has never seen anything like this except right here, the flash crash, right? And you guys all remember that, I'm sure, if you were around. But the flash crash and then the bounce up. But this, can you see how, this was 2007 when the market topped out here. It bottomed in 2000, what was it? 2009, the beginning of 2009. So, right. That was a pretty, it looks a lot quicker here, but that took, let's see, this was October. So about a little over a year for this all to happen, right? And then if we go from where it topped, 2007, over to here, 2013, that took a long time. 5 years just to reach back to these highs. So the people that lost all their money down here, if they stayed in the market, they didn't even recover for 5 years. This is much bigger. This could be much worse. Just want you guys to be aware of that. I've been trying to warn people of this for 2 years now. But let's look at our daily Bitcoin chart. So if you look at this dotted yellow trend line, this gave us our target. If we take the measured move, use this as your bottom line, looking at this as a falling wedge to where it broke right here, that gave us that target of 31.5. We did not quite hit it. Now, again, that's not out of the question that we don't get some crazy spike rally up to those levels. But we may have already just topped out here, right? And then we had this white falling wedge, and we took a measured move of that from when it broke right here. Let's put it over there. That got us this 28.6, which is now our new resistance. So it's looking pretty much like this is going to play out in the macro. I'll show you the macro here in a little bit, and we'll go into the 4 hour. 200 EMA is going to be around 25,000, somewhere in that range. I'm sure we'll probably get a bounce there. But if we do break through, our next target's going to be the 23,000. I'll show you what that is. That is just looking at this as a head and shoulders. Although we did break the neckline, we're back below it again. So we could still use this target from the breakdown here, 23,000. Then we have our trend line right down here, depending on when we hit the line, right? So this is a daily. So if we came straight down today, which I doubt, but if we did, it'd be around 19.8. And then if we were to do it sometime in the middle of July, it's going to be around 20,000. But if this trend line breaks the bottom to the downside, I am looking for us to, here's one line of support I don't think will hold though. Let's say we get there by July, 12,000 range. Let's say we get there in December, 9,600 range. Although I think the bottom is going to be sometime in September, October. Again, guys, if this traditional bear market lasts longer, obviously Bitcoin is going to take longer. But regardless, I still think there's a great possibility we see below 10,000, at least 9,600, possibly as low as 3,500, depending on what happens, right? If If you guys are interested in trading, definitely check out Prime XBT. We're going to go in the 4-hour here in a minute. Make sure you guys smash those thumbs up. I know a lot of people forget to do that, so I like to mention it in the video just so you do. It helps the YouTube algorithm. It helps get the video out there. But if you guys do want to try trading, my sponsor, Prime XBT, definitely check them out. Links down below. I'll also leave a tutorial at the end of the video. You can get up to a $7,000 bonus by using Savvy50 as your promo code in the promo code area. Savvy25 will get you 25% off of your trading fees, which is huge. You can trade crypto, Forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow Jones, everything all from one exchange. You can also join the contest section up here without putting any risk into markets, trade for free with fake money. But if you win the contest, you get tradable funds. So you get to use those funds to actually keep your profits from. So definitely check them out if you haven't already. I will be doing tonight in the Discord just like yesterday, and I'm not sure what time. So if you do belong to my Discord group, the link's down below. If you don't, join that, and I'll come in there and announce that I'm going to give away some more promo codes. And these promo codes will get you up to $7,000 bonus, but with 20% on top of your deposit. So if you put 10,000 in, you would get 2,000 bonus added to your account. So definitely join the Discord. If not for that, there's a bunch of great people in there. A lot of people trading. You got day traders, you got swing traders, you got macro traders, everything all inside there. So sharing ideas. Remember, nothing's financial advice, but it's just a bunch of traders trying to help each other out. So definitely check it out. All right, let's look at the 4-hour here. So I've had this count as this blue count here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The third wave here is kind of weird. I'm not sure that we can count this blue wave as 3 yet, but I'm not counting it out yet. What I want to look at here on the 4-hour is we're having alternate touches right here, and it's making a broadening wedge. And what does a broadening wedge do? Usually breaks down. Depending on where this breaks down, right, we're gonna have our trend line somewhere around 26,000. If we break that 26, that gets us the same target as that Head and Shoulders did around 23. Then we possibly bounce back up, retest this area around 26 before continuing down to that 20,000 target that we've been talking about on this trend line. I'm sure we'll get a bounce there. If we don't, that means markets are probably in serious trouble and everything's dropping. But for the most part, this is still what I'm looking for. Although we could get an ABC here and continue up. But let's put this on this trend line here. So where would our resistance be? 28.3 is the resistance if we were to make it up in the next couple days, right? Do I see us going up there? Probably not. What we're probably going to see here is an ABC back down to retest this level. And that would make, let's see how this would look. This would be a B, C, D, E. If that's the case, or whoops, we could get one more pop up if it's at A, B, C, D, E, right? Or we could go from this level here. Look at this as A, this is B, this is C, this is D, and E back here. I like it the first way better, but we'll be keeping an eye on that. Unless we break one of these yellow trend lines, there's no real direction to the market in the bigger picture yet, other than the downside. And I'll show you that here in a little bit. Here is my Elliott wave count for the whole since Bitcoin was created. A big wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. People always think wave 3 has to be the longest. That's incorrect. Wave 3 is often the longest, but never the shortest. So wave 3 just can't be the shortest. And looking at it on a log scale can really skew your view, and I'll show you why here in a minute. But as you can see, in each one of these waves, we had 5 waves in wave 1 right here. This is the monthly chart. Then we had an ABC correction. Then we had 5 waves in wave 3. And then we had this triangle, which is a complex correction. And then we had our 5 waves here. I know a lot of people are saying we're making the 5th wave in wave 5, but if you look here, there's our 5 waves, clear as day. And that's the end of a 5th wave. Now we see a correction here. Will it be an ABC? Will it be a complex correction? Not sure. If the first first correction like this was a simple zigzag, and then we had a complex correction. So if you have a complex correction first, then you have a simple zigzag second. But so far, this is looking like it's possibly just going to be an ABC. And like I said, if this was to go to a 1-to-1 extension, that'd be around 6,300. So we have a lot of lower targets, but nevertheless, they all show it going below 10,000, in my opinion, right? Unless we start breaking some serious resistance level. But in the big picture, here's another way to look at it. In the weekly, as a big A, B, or I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, still looking for the fifth wave to the downside on a descending wedge, right? Now, does that mean it shoots straight up and goes to the moon after that? No, we've talked about this plenty of times. We may bounce around here for a while. I think it's going to take a long time before we see them all-time highs again. If this plays out the way I believe it is. You can see it also in the RSI. You can see all the room we have here for more downside. Be careful, guys. This is also looking at it on the weekly, right? Let me get some of this stuff off here so you can see it. My main thing I want to show here is, you know what? Hold on a minute. There was another chart. I wanted to point something out and I almost forgot here. Oh, this. Yeah, let me do this real quick. Sorry, guys. This throw you off a little bit, but we're still in the bigger time frames. So if we clone this bottom line, right, going off of this, going off of the wicks, and we take a measured move of that, let's see where that would tell us if we break that 23.4 range. That would get us down to 16,000 area. Now, let's clone this yellow line, get this white one off of here. This one is going off of the bodies, which we broke through, came back up and tagged it, right? So if we took a measured move of that, what would that get us? About 20,000. So that gets us to go test that 20,000. Just something I wanted to point out and show you guys real quick. All right, let's go back into. Now this is something else I wanted to show here. I can also draw a white trend line here. If you look at these highs, we made a higher high in the RSI, even from this high here, but yet a lower high in the price action. That's hidden bearish divergence, continuation of the trend. Hidden divergence is a continuation of the trend as long as it's following the trend, which it is. This is hidden bearish. The trend is down. We can go off of this one also right here. Lower highs in the price action, higher highs in the RSI. Hidden bearish divergence. These are the things that keep me in my theory that we have a lot further to go down. I'm not just guessing and throwing things out there. There are things pointing to this. And I just want to make this clear to you. Now, when bubbles pop, this is Amazon and the .com bubble, right? And I believe AI is just another big bubble getting everybody to pump their money into the markets so they can take it again, right? Look at every time it returns to where it started. This had the false bottom when we broke the weekly, just like right here, false bottom when we broke the weekly, only to make a lower low. I do think that's coming, guys. Be careful. Nintendo, same thing, false bottom with the big rally, just like we had here. It's all playing out pretty much identical. Bubbles always return to where they started. Yeah, be careful out there, guys. I know a lot of people just want to get rich quick and buy Bitcoin and it goes to $100,000 or $200,000 or $500,000. How often have you heard that and it never reaches them targets, right? Not to say it can't, but unless the traditional markets go in a huge rally, I don't see Bitcoin having enough power to do anything on its own to just be this great thing that everybody uses. For one, it was supposed to be untraceable money when it very first came out. It's the most traceable money in the world. And now you're hearing that there's other ways they can stop you from using it. Everything they've made it out to be. It was supposed to be the people's money, person to person, and now it's store of value. How many times are they going to change the view of it? Guys, honestly, right now, Bitcoin, the only thing it's good for is trading, in my opinion. And same with altcoins and garbage coins. Just be careful with them because 99.999% of them are scams and they will rug hard. Yes, you can make money off them and you get lucky. But remember, more people lose money than make money on those. You know, there's 95% of the people put money into them lose. The other 5% take the money. Unless you're that 5% that has a bunch and actually dumps at the right time, you're probably gonna end up holding it thinking it's gonna be something in the future when the chances are it won't. But hey, I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Make sure you guys smash the thumbs up, share the video, and make sure your notification bells are ticked. And don't forget, we will be giving away the 20% promos in the Discord tonight. Links down below to join the Discord, and Prime XBT link down there if you are interested in beginning to start trading. Never put in more than you're willing to use. Always use stops. Take it easy, guys.